Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Harinam Prabhu ki, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra ki, Hare Krishna. So thank you all so much for participating in this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra chanting. And anyone who is not doing this on a regular basis, we request you at least 108 times every day, please chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So today's Sunday feast, our entire offering for the pleasure of Shri Radha Golokanda, Srila Prabhupada and all the Vaishnavas has been prepared by the Sharanagati group. And let's pray for them. Let's chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra expressing our gratitude for their service. And also pray that Shri Radha Golokanda shower their blessings on all these wonderful devotees. So let's chant loudly, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Also, today's feast is sponsored by Sarala Shivaram Prabhu, who was right? Yeah, right there. Prabhu is right there. And Mataji, Malika Mataji is, I think she just went outside. Okay, so Prabhu and Mataji have sponsored the feast today, and this is in memory of their father, Venkateshwara Reddy, whose first year of passing away. So let's thank you, Prabhuji, for sponsoring. Pray to Shri Radha Golokanda for his father, Venkateshwara Reddy, that wherever he is, he may be nicely engaged in the service of Shri Radha Golokanda. So let's loudly chant, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai. Hare Krishna. So our next program is we are going to have a talk by a very special guest, His Grace Pancharatna Prabhu. Haribo! Pancharatna Prabhu is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, serving ISKCON since Prabhuji received initiation from Srila Prabhupada in 1970. 1971. And since then, he's been offering so many services to Srila Prabhupada. He's given his life to the service of Srila Prabhupada. And he actually, as I mentioned earlier, he has this website, chantnow.com. Please visit the website, and it's also good for like new people. If you want to encourage new people to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you can direct them to this website, chantnow.com. And it has a series of videos of how to chant, importance of chanting, etc. Right? Prabhuji actually stays in Sri Mayapur Dham, and Prabhuji also helps with the GBC in so many different services. Like if you search on YouTube, they have this, I think during COVID this started, right? The live GBC strategic, SPT. So GBC strategic planning team, and Prabhuji was very involved with that, organizing online classes and, serving the GBC in so many different ways. And also, every year in December, Prabhuji actually takes devotees around Govardhan Parikrama in Vrindavan. So if you like to join, Prabhuji is very wonderful. He does nice katha all around Govardhan, and he'll take a full day of Govardhan Parikrama. So we are very, very fortunate to have Prabhuji here, very special devotee, disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Let's warmly welcome our special guest, His Grace Pancharatna Prabhu. Haribo!
I also try to assist with the Navadvip Mandal Parikrama. And if you can join me, I will engage you in drama. But tonight, you're going to have to suffer through a different kind of drama. The drama of a lost voice that is going to attempt, like a frog, to say something. Fortunately, there's a microphone, so that will help. But yes, yesterday my voice started to go, and I wondered, what should I do? Should I bail on this class. And I was thinking, there's not much opportunity. Maybe Krishna will help me. Maybe he'll let me at least speak for 1 hour. Maybe after this I'll collapse, But at least for 1 hour perhaps I can revive. I'm not sure what the protocol. Do you sing? Do you... Okay. All right. Perhaps someone else could sing, so I can save my voice a little bit. Anyone here like to volunteer? Apurva? No?
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Janabalava Giribanadai Gopi Janabalava Jaya Gopi Janabalava Giribanadai Janabalava Giribanadai Yasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Nandana Brajajanaranjana Jasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamuna Chiravanachari Chiravanachari Jamuna Chiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Janabalava Giribanadai Vijanabalava Giribanadai Jaya Gopi Janabalava Giribanadai Vijanabalava Giribanadai Jasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Nandana Brajajanaranjana Jamuna Tiravanachari Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Janabalava Giribanadari Giribanadari Jasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Nandana Brajajanaranjana Jamuna Chiravanachari Chiravanachari
Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivartikacharya Sthira Sata Shri Srimad Jidani Goswami Shri Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivartikacharya Sthira Sata Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindi Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrindi Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Guranga. Glories to Shri Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, there we go. I was told I could pick any verse. What do you pick? So much is there. But since today is also the disappearance day of Lokanath Goswami, I was searching for something to connect. Because I think tonight perhaps we can spend a little time also remembering, or I should say, contemplating the life and the contributions of Lokanath Goswami. And I was thinking of this, and I'm going to begin because perhaps to set the context, why did I choose this particular verse while thinking about Lokanath Goswami? So first of all, how many of you here have heard of Lokanath Goswami? Many of you. Those of you who have not heard of Lokanath Goswami, have you heard of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Yes, okay. Because the story of Lokanath Goswami begins with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, it begins a bit before that because he is born in this world in a village whose name I forget. I could look it up right now, but rather than narrating all the details, you can go if you like and get all the little details of the village he was born and the father and the mother and the this and the that. And he was actually married for some time. But what's significant, most significant, is that he lived in Navadvip as Mahaprabhu began his Sankirtan movement. What's most significant is that he formed a relationship with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A deep, deep relationship. So deep. They were so close in friendship that Mahaprabhu did something very extraordinary. He told Lokanath Goswami to leave Navadvip and go to Vrindavan. This is before Mahaprabhu took sannyas. He gave him a hint. In some of the narrations it said he actually told him, I'm going to take sannyas, get out here before I do so. Because you can't come with me then. But somehow he knew, he understood. And although his desire was to remain with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had an order. And the order was not only go to Vrindavan, but when you're there, do something. Revive the Dham. And thinking about the Dham brought me to this verse. So let's read this verse, and then let's see how it connects. Okay, because as you can notice, my voice is weak. I'm not going to do a lot of chanting and verses and so on. But we'll just repeat the verse once. Responsively. Apareyamitastvanyam prakritim vidime param jiva bhutam mahabhavo yayedam daryate jagat. Srila Prabhupada's translation. Besides these, okay, so what are these? The previous verse described these, and what are these? The material energy, comprised of earth, air, fire, water, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. So Krishna says, beside these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mine, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. Srila Prabhupada has quite a long purport here, so I'm not going to read all of it. But I'll begin with what he says here, that here it is clearly mentioned that living entities belong to the superior nature or energy of the Supreme Lord. The inferior energy is matter, manifested in different elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Both forms of material nature, namely gross, earth, etc., and subtle, mind, etc., are products of the inferior energy. The living entities who are exploiting these inferior energies for different purposes are the superior energy of the Supreme Lord. And it is due to this energy that the entire material world functions. So what is the Dham? Is the Dham material energy? You say no, but it certainly looks like it. It certainly behaves. I mean, the Dham that we see, how many of you have visited any of the Dhams in India? How many have not visited any of the Dhams in India? All right, well, you are now in a Dham right here. This is New Goloka Dham. This is a Dham. But I was here, was it yesterday or day before yesterday, and the roof was leaking. There was a big rain. It was really, really, heavy rain. And there was water pouring through, and that seems to be very, kind of the way material energy works. It leaks, it falls. What's the basic principle of material energy? Who's a physicist? Any physicists in the room? No? Good. I'm safe. Because I know just so little. But one aspect of physics that has stuck with me, it's called entropy. Heard of entropy? Yes, entropy. Now I could always mix up high entropy, low entropy, but basically, matter, the material world, is always moving through the force of Krishna as time. Time I am, the destroyer. And time moves entropy in just one direction in the material world. Material energy moves only in one direction of entropy. Now the physics is, I think it's going from low to high state of entropy, meaning disorder, falling apart. It is falling apart. Everything. Would you agree? A few of us in this room can testify. You're hearing it right now. The falling apart. It falls apart just like that. Everything's falling apart. And those of us who live, I happen to be very fortunate, my wife and I happen to be very fortunate to live in Sri Mayapur for most of the year, well, half of the year. We've in the last few years, we've been spending our summers in New York City in another Dham, Sri Radha Govinda Dham, to help serve there. But yeah, we all observe things are falling apart. But then we are told that no, the Dhams are not material. In the next verse, I think it is, let me see if I can get to it. My computer's also falling apart. The touch screen doesn't work right now, so I have to. And now it says I'm not connected. I was connected. Okay, what happened here? Okay, let's try this again. I'm not sure if it's the next verse. Anyway, it basically, I'll just summarize. Where Krishna says, there's only these two. The inferior and the superior energy. Everything is a combination of inferior and superior energy. So what is the Dham? It appears to be made of the inferior energy, but we're told it is spiritual. Now there's two ways you could think of this. One example is the example of the iron in the fire, right? That you put an iron in a fire and it takes on the qualities of fire. So you could take it from that position, that it's material energy, but it's become spiritualized by Krishna's presence. But I'll suggest that the true Dham is living. It is spiritual energy. It is Krishna. His spiritual energy. His energy, his spiritual energy, Krishna says, well, there's these two, inferior and spiritual, but within the category of spiritual, there are many varieties of spiritual energy. We're the jivas. We're just one. But Krishna, he has unlimited spiritual energies. He has internal energies. He's got marginal energies. Of course, he has his external energies, but his internal energies are so variegated. His Ladini Shakti, his Chit Shakti, his, Samvid Shakti. He has all these Shaktis. Some of these Shaktis bring things into existence. They manifest as his dham, as his flute, as his clothing, his everything is his energy, but it's spiritual. It's not subject to entropy. Okay, it doesn't just fall apart all the time. It doesn't appear and disappear and go away. It is eternal, and it's manifest in our world, but not easy to see. Now, Lokanath Goswami was charged with helping to uncover the places, the spots, you could say the touching points where we who are encased in material identification, who know nothing but the material. We have senses, we have a mind, we have intelligence, but what do we perceive? All that we perceive is what we can, at least what we think we're perceiving is what we perceive through our senses. And of course the mind produces so much variety of perception. How do we touch this spiritual world that's Krishna brings in to this sphere, this existence? We can touch it through the devotees like Lokanath Goswami. So Lokanath Goswami, as I said, he was ordered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go to Vrindavan. The places of Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan had been covered. I was curious, I was trying to see if I could find a more detailed history. How did this happen? Because just after Krishna's appearance, and disappearance I should say, his he was Pradyumna's son, Aniruddha's son, his son Pradyumna's son, Aniruddha's son, Vajranabha. So that's great-grandson, right? Did I get it right? So his great-grandson is named Vajranabha. So Vajranabha had some experience as a very, very small child. This I'm not clear. Anyone clear? I think he must have been born already, because his father. Anyway, maybe he wasn't yet born. I don't know that. Anyhow, but he didn't have him personally that much connection with his great-grandfather Krishna. Krishna had left. But still there was Mathura. Mathura has been there. You can find some histories of Mathura. But Vraj. So he felt the need to establish. And he established, if I can find it, I looked it up, how many he established. That's not it. Let's see. Yeah. So he established, first of all, the 4 presiding deities of Rajamandala. Haridev in Govardhan, Keshav Dev in Mathura, Baladev or Dauji in Baldeo, and Govinda Dev of Vrindavan. So these were established as the presiding deities. He established two Naths, it says here. Srinathji Gopal, who was discovered later by Madhavendra Puri. And Gopinath. Two Gopals, Madan Mohan and Shakshi Gopal. The four Mahadevs, Chakaleshwar, Govardhan, Kameshwar, Kamyavan, Uteshwar, and Mathura, and Gopishwar in Vrindavan. And then four Devis, Manasi Devi at Govardhan, Vrinda Devi at Kamyavan, Patala Devi at Mathura, and Yogamaya Devi at Vrindavan. So he established all these deities in all these different places. You noted all the different places that he established. This is Vajranabha. Thousands of years ago. But then beginning in, I guess it's around 1,000, first of all we had Buddhism. Buddhism comes in, and Mathura was a center of Buddhism. So Buddhism, you can understand, might naturally influence the population, at least the rulers and the people with money, to neglect these Hindu structures. So they start. This is my speculation. I was looking for someone who's studied this, but I'm just trying to piece it together myself. How did this happen? But let's suppose, and I think it's a good supposition, that under the influence of Buddhism, the neglect would have begun. And then we have, who was it, Muhammad Ghazni in 1000? Who is the first marauder who came from? Anyway, there was a series of Islamic incursions into all of India, but especially into North India. And some of these, they really didn't like temples. And especially they didn't like murtis. This was, and it's, again, the histories are not very clear, but there's suggestions that hundreds of thousands of temples were destroyed. So this, we can then imagine how Vraj must have also either gone into disrepair, or what happened frequently was the deities were buried or hidden or moved to protect them. Gopal was somewhere buried in Govardhan. Govindaji was secreted away with one Brahmin who, I think it was Advaita, who gave him to this Brahmin, and all these different deities were sort of hidden away. Lokanath's own deity, we'll come to, Radha Vinod, appears. So these deities are being hidden and the places are gone, and so Lokanath comes. Lokanath comes. Lokanath, who we understand was not like us. Not one like us who appears in this world by some karmic progression. But it is a direct, I should say, descent. Anyone remember what he was? One of the Manjaris. I don't remember exactly his position in Goloka, but he comes. First he's with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then he goes with his friend Bhugarba. And they go and they have this mission. So that, as I said, that's this mission of Lokanath Goswami to uncover the Dham, to make it accessible to us. Because when we know this was the place, when we know Krishna was here, when we know, yes, this is Gokula, yes, this is Nandagram, yes, this is Barshana, this happened here, we begin to approach, begin to be able to tune in to the spiritual place that is there. On the surface, it may appear like a pile of rocks or whatever it is. But when we know this, when we're given this vision by devotees like Lokanath Goswami, who then later on we know that many devotees continued this work. Rupa and Sanatan themselves continued the work of uncovering the Dham. There was one great devotee, a disciple of Haridas named Narayan Bhatt, who was totally absorbed in simply going from one place to another place. He wrote the I think it was Vraja something Mahima, I don't remember the name, but it's his guidebook, which truly especially informed. It was his guidebook that forms the Vrajamandal Parikrama. He gave us that route to go. So these are these devotees Mahaprabhu sent to reestablish, to bring out the touch points where we can go in Vrindavan and remember the pastimes of Krishna in these places and just begin to get some of that connection with the spiritual energy which is there. It is spiritual energy. The Dham is spiritual energy. But it's not easy. There's another form of spiritual energy that is readily accessible to us, but we also have difficulty. Sri Harinam. The same principle. To us, it's atoms moving in the air and hitting our eardrums and knocking some brain cells together, which then form a word which comes and goes. Huh? As soon as one syllable of the mantra appears, it is disappeared. It seems to be of the same character to our material vision. It seems to be of that same quality as earth, air, fire, water, ether, sound and ether. The sound appears in ether. Of course, some would argue, well, how can sound appear in, if we define ether as being like space, without air, without earth, without anything, then how can sound appear? Sound needs a medium from which to go, but there is sound in, Krishna says, I am the sound in ether. So there's something more. Even in the material sphere, there's something more to sound. And if you really want to get confused and really want to get really into something that is very hard to understand, then you can look up something that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur lectured on. And now I'd have to remember the spot. What is it? Spota, right? Spota. What is sound? What is words? Where is it? Where, is there something? Is it something that exists without the vibration of the atmosphere? Is it, and that gives it. Anyway, I tried. Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj understands this. I think somehow he talked about it. But to us, But Mahaprabhu tells us, Nam Nam Akarit Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. That in all these names, all these sound vibrations that are the names of Krishna, He is fully present with all his energies. They are not material. But in the same way, at least for me, that it is difficult to connect with the Dham, with the spiritual energy that is there. At least for me, it's very difficult to connect with Krishna. And why? Aparad. Because I am offensive. I commit so many offenses to the holy name. To begin with, I'm not attentive when I chant the holy names, at least many times. I think Aditya asked how many that you were chanting. How many here are regularly chanting every day? Many, most of you. So how many of you then, especially, have you studied, I'm sure you and the initiated devotees, they have to know these things. But those of you who haven't yet received, how many are initiated? Let me ask that. Okay, I'm preaching to the choir here. And that's me. I'm not the choir, I'm the recipient. I'm the one who needs to hear this. Every day I need to hear this. Every moment I need to hear this. How to rise, how to get free. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Kabe habe bolo se din hamar, aparada guchi, shudanama ruchi. When will those offenses, all those offenses, when will they go so that the Sudanam, full Krishna, I can taste? Connected to the verse that we're reading today is the 10th offense. To help me better understand these offenses, I've been trying to learn the Sanskrit from the Padma Purana of where they come from. And I've learned some are very simple, like Guru Avagya, that's very simple. Some are quite long. But the last one, Nama Mahatmya Shrutopi, Nama Mahatmya Shrutopi Priti Rahito Nara Aham Mamadi Paramo. How does it go? Aparada something Krit. Nama Mahatmya. When we hear about we all recite the Sikshashtakam, and we know the glories, Chaita Darbana Marjanam Baba Mahadavagni Navapanam. All these glories we've heard of the holy names of Krishna. We've heard it. And yet Priti Rahito, that Priti, that affection, that love does not awaken. Why? Aham Mamadi Paramo. Aham Mamadi, because we are focused. Our focus is on me, I, Aham, Mamadi, and everything that is mine, etc., etc., etc. That is our Paramo. That's what's supreme for us. Always pulling us away. Why are we inattentive while we're chanting? aham mamadi, because something that where we're identifying my problem or this thing or something where something that centers on ourselves is pulling us away from simply hearing and worshiping and connecting with Krishna in His holy name. The same thing happens when we visit the dhams. But we can take some, we can try to get the blessings of Lokanath Goswami and all of the Goswamis of Vrindavan. Lokanath Goswami, he exemplified, I mean, we hear about these, the Rupa and Sanatan, how austere they were. Raghunath Das Goswami. Lokanath was made of the same mold. He just lived under the trees. That's... I mean, the trees of Vrindavan can be quite nice sometimes, but still, when it rains, I don't know what he did. Somehow, he lived. One significant, very significant event in his life was when, on the banks of, I'm trying to remember the Kund. Anyone remember? We heard about it this morning. Where's Dayasara? He was talking about it. Anyway. One Kund, where Kalindi, something like that. Kishori, I think Kishori Kund. I could look it up, but it's not time. So he was sitting there and he was doing his Nam Bhajan. And someone comes up. And in some of the narrations, it appears that Lokanath Goswami is, Krishna. He recognizes and this person, but in others it says it's a Brahmin, but this personality hands him this deity here, take, because earlier, Lokanath Goswami had been sort of thinking, how it would be nice to worship Krishna and a deity. So he hands him here, and it disappears. And after this person disappears, and Lokanath, then he's really thinking, this is Krishna, the deity begins to talk to him. Yes, I'm here. You wanted me? Yeah, I'm here. And I'm hungry. I'm hungry. So, okay. And Lokanath Goswami now he's got Radha Vinod. And he begins to prepare and he makes prasadam. And okay, now where will he stay? And someone comes, let's make you a nice hot and kuti. No. Kids to make a little sack. He makes a sack of cloth and he puts Radha Vinod and he just carries him with him everywhere, worshipping him. Later, Radha Vinod does come to a temple where Radha Gokulananda are. But then he also leaves when, again, there's another threat to so many deities left from Vrindavan and went to Jaipur and mostly. And Radha Vinod is there. He's there in Jaipur. This morning, I think Vir Krishna Maharaj was asking about Radha Gokulananda. As far as I know, Radha Gokulananda did stay. They didn't go anywhere. Their temple is still there. Another interesting occurrence in the life of Lokanath that I find very fascinating is when I mentioned that he's there with Bhugarba. Lokanath Goswami's samadhi is, as far as I understand, is in the temple of Radha Gokulananda. And Bhugarba's right there next to Rupa's in that Radha Damodar. A little samadhi there. And they hear that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has left Puri, he's gone to South India. And now, because Lokanath has not seen him, I mean, since he's taken sannyas, he's saying, I'm going to go. So Bhugarba and Lokanath, they go and they proceed to South India, and then they hear, he's gone to Vrindavan. So they start going back to Vrindavan. Oh, he's left, he's gone to Prayag. And they're getting ready to go, and let's go and meet him in Prayag. And then the dream comes to Lokanath, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu addresses him, stop running around. Just stay. And he stays. But one of the next most significant aspects of the life of Lokanath Goswami, because Lokanath Goswami vowed to never take any disciples. He was living so simply, so austerely, just engaged in his meditation on Krishna's pastimes there in the Dham, revealing this one and that one, and associating with Rupa and Sanatana. But one day, Narottam Das appears. Now, Narottam is a whole other long story about how he received Mahaprabhu's prem from the Padmavati river in Kaituri. But that's the whole long story. But in Kaituri, Narottam is getting a dream and a dream and a dream and saying, go, take your Gurudev as Lokanath Goswami in Vrindavan. So Narottam proceeds. He goes and he meets Lokanath Goswami. Gurudev, I am ordered. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has sent me here. You must initiate me. Lokanath said, no, I'm not initiating anyone. I'm not going to take any disciples. I'm just a servant. He begs, no. But Narottam is determined. He's determined. Somehow I must. But not only would Lokanath Goswami not accept him, he would not even allow him to serve him. He would not accept any personal service from anyone. That level of transcendence he was in. He was so immersed in transcendental consciousness that neither he desired nor needed anything. And in the mood of humility, he just would not allow anyone to give service to his mortal frame. So Narottam, he thought, I must serve Lokanath. Even if he doesn't initiate me, at least I can serve him. So he found out, although that Lokanath used to move about in the groves where he used to stay, he had one specific place that, he would go in to relieve himself. So Narottam in the night, he would go there and he would clean it all up. He'd make put some more water there, and Lokanath would come in the morning and find. I mean, this is not the usual thing that you find. If you've been in India, you know that the fields don't generally get cleaned up. They're very. Anyway. It's all clean and nice. This is unusual. This happened for some days, weeks. One narration says a whole year went by like this. But after some time, you look at this one, who's doing this? So he sneaks out, hides himself in and observes Narottam. Narottam, this night, can't see well and hears a voice calling, "Who's there?" Narottam. And then Lokanath reveals himself, "Okay, I will accept you." But no one else. No one else was accepted by Lokanath Goswami. But that one disciple, Narottam Das, did so much to spread Krishna consciousness. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's experience is a little similar with Gorkashore Das Babaji, who also refused. No, I will not accept. And in many ways, Gorkashore Das Babaji's life was quite similar to Lokanath Goswami. But after begging and begging to the point of threatening, if you do not initiate me, then there's no use to live, and there's the Ganga, I'm going. And finally, Gorkashore Das Babaji accepted him, the one disciple. And that one disciple is why we're here. So these great souls who descend to our earth, descend to our planet, descend to our realm, to unveil the spiritual world to us and to connect us to Krishna. On these days, this is his disappearance day, we can reflect and we can honor them and pray. Pray. One of our prayers, Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kada Mayam Tatati Swapadantikam. Just like we pray to Rupa Goswami, when, please, O Rupa, you who understood the mind of Sri Chaitanya and established this for our benefit, when will you give me the shelter of your lotus feet? All of these great souls we can pray for their shelter, for their blessings, by remembering the purity of their devotion. I was reflecting on our path. In other traditions, faith traditions, we often hear of great saints. But most people in these traditions, though they appreciate and they worship these saints, they just assume stay where they are. They don't want to be saints themselves. But our path, Vairagya Vidya, the path of Sharanagati, means that we're called to follow in the footsteps of these souls. Not to imitate them. We're not, no one, I don't think anyone, at least I know I can't imitate their activities. But we can follow them. We can follow their spirit. The spirit of Sharanagati. Full surrender. Full surrender. That is our path. Step by step, not overnight. We are not capable of that. But we should look at ourselves every day. How can we surrender more and more? How can we take this opportunity, this time, this japa session, this kirtan, this interaction that I have with another devotee or anyone? How can we take this as an opportunity for more surrender? In the purport that we didn't get to read fully, Srila Prabhupada makes the point. We are not God. We're not God. We are controlled by God. But we don't surrender to that control. We fight it. And we try to exploit, and we try to manipulate, and we try to get out on top. And we are attracted to those philosophies which offer us the opportunity. Yes, you can, you too, yeah, you can be one. But real oneness is when our minds, our hearts, our intentions, our desires are Krishna's desires. That's the oneness. Surrender. Surrender. Not, oh, I have to surrender. Too powerful. I can't. Maybe I'll, for now I'll surrender. Can't fight anymore. No, this is the surrender of the child to the mother. When the child surrenders to the mother's arms, crying for mother, it's because the child knows that in the arms of my mother, I'll be safe, there's nothing to worry about. This is our path. We can look at how surrendered Lokanath Goswami was in his life and take that as a beacon, as a light to follow through the maze of this world. Then we can also end up in Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. So I've gone a little over time. I thank Krishna and the devotees here that I was able to speak, even though I was worried that my voice would just completely go out. But I'm really taking shelter of this this device here. Anyone who says that we should be we should move towards a world without technology, and I don't know. Yes, we should get rid of most of the factories, but the factories that make these, maybe we can keep them. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Hare Krishna. Lokanath Goswami.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Such a beautiful class on the glories of Lokanath Goswami, glories of our Acharya, and also ending with the powerful points of how we can actually connect with these Acharyas, how we can pray to them, and how we can actually develop that mood of surrender, at least aspire to develop that mood of surrender. So we'd like to warmly thank express our gratitude to His Grace Pancharatna Prabhu. Such a beautiful class and enlivening us with such wonderful wisdom. And we are very, very happy to have you, fortunate to have your association today. And in spite of your voice, when you were speaking, you were so enthusiastic, we couldn't make out that you had, there was anything with your throat. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. So let's warmly express our gratitude to His Grace Pancharatna. Haribo! Haribo! His Grace Pancharatna Prabhuji ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So, coming up, few announcements coming up on the calendar. We have on August 5th, 6th and 7th, we are going to have His Holiness Haldar Swami Maharaj, who will be here and who will be blessing us with his association. It's a weekdays. It's going to be Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. So please mark your calendars. And Maharaj is a disciple of His Holiness Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj from Orissa. And he gives wonderful classes. So August 5th to 7th is His Holiness Haldar Swami Maharaj. August 15th to 18th, that weekend, is going to be His Grace Hari Vamsa Prabhu. He's a young devotee. He was in ISV, now he's in Vrindavan. Very wonderful, very sweet classes he gives. Very powerful and very learned scholar. So he'll be August 15th to 18th. August 18th is also, that Sunday will be the first day of a children Sunday school. So if you want to register your children for the fall session, please reach out to Ratna Radhika and register. We'll be sending out more information, but the registration is open. Please register your children for the entire fall session for the Sunday school. And it starts on August 18th. August 19th is the appearance day of Lord Balaram. Shri Balaram Ji ki. And just a week after that is our biggest festival of the year. August 26th on Monday is Shri Krishna Janmashtami Maha Mahotsav ki. And for us it's so special because on this day of Janmashtami, Shri Radha Golokanda appeared in 1985. Haribo! So we have already started our preparations for Janmashtami. Next Sunday we'll have a short presentation of all the services that you can actually get involved and help with Janmashtami. Janmashtami is our biggest festival. We get thousands of people. Even though it's a Monday, it's a weekday, we are preparing for thousands of people and we need a lot of help organizing a huge festival. So please sign up for the services. We'll have more information next Sunday. And also the coming weekend, we'll be having the seva of mailing 3,000 invitations of Janmashtami. So next Sunday, we'll be sending out information. So if you can come early next Sunday and help with the mail out, and then even after Sunday feast, we'll be mailing out, preparing the mail outs. Okay? And the day after Janmashtami is appearance day of our most beloved, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. So August 5th to 7th, Haldar Swami Maharaj, 15th to 18th, Hari Vamsa Prabhu, 18th, first day of the fall session of Sunday school, and 26th is Janmashtami, 27th, Srila Prabhupada appearance day. 19th, Balram Purnima, yes. So thank you so much. So before we proceed down